Let's play a little mind game. You're in your car, you're driving down your street and you're searching for a parking spot, but everything is pretty packed. But there, all of a sudden, there's that parking spot. You set your indicator, you're about to turn the wheel. In that very moment, a car drives up the one-way street, snatches your spot right in front of you, and the driver walks off smiling. How does that make you feel? Annoyed, right? You'd be pissed, you'd be pretty angry. Maybe you even want to get out of your car and set that driver straight, and who could blame you? And in the end of the day, you still have to drive off searching for a parking spot. Situations like that, where somebody grinds your nerves and you just want to set them straight, they happen a lot. They happen all the time. The thing that grinds my nerves is bullshit talkers. When you're like, there's no way that's happening. But I digress. Let's go back to this little mind game. Imagine you're in your car once more. You're driving down your street, you're searching for a parking spot, and there it is, that beautiful parking spot waiting for you. So you set your indicator, you're about to turn the wheel. In that moment, a cow leisurely strolls by your car, walks to that parking spot, and lies down. How would that make you feel? You'll probably be confused, right? But then laughing about the absurdity of all of that. And in the end, I would still have to find a parking spot. So you already know what I'm trying to tell you. And you're probably already figuring out your counter arguments. But first things first. The situation is the same, the result is the same, but the way you emotionally react to the situation couldn't be any more different. The way we interpret a situation directs how we react to that emotionally. Which then in turn raises the question, if we don't get mad at the cow, why would we get mad at the driver? Which brings us to your counter arguments. You rightfully are going to say, well, a cow is an animal doesn't know traffic laws, an animal doesn't know that this is a one-way street. The moment I set the indicator, that is my parking spot. An animal does not know that it is behaving like an asshole. The driver knew, they learned that in driving school, they did that on purpose, so not the same situation. And yes, I agree with you, that driver is a dick. But the decision to get mad was yours, which is why you chose to set them straight. With bullshit talkers, it's really hard to set them straight. Have you ever tried? Because they will double down on their bullshit. And I know that I get mad because the one thing I'm really proud of is that I'm not a dummy. And the moment somebody talks obvious bullshit to me, it's very hard for me not to take that personally. You must think I'm an absolute moron to believe anything you're saying. But I found a way how to deal with these types of situations, and today I would like to share that with you. Whenever somebody tries to talk bullshit to me, I imagine them to be not a cow, but a junkie at the main station. I know the word junkie might be derogatory, so a struggling person at the main station. I live in a bigger city, so from time to time, while waiting for the train, while walking past the main station, somebody might try to strike up a conversation with me, and I don't really want to talk to that person most of the time, because they're not in their best headspace. So when that happens, I don't want to be mad or nasty because that could exacerbate the situation. So rather, I just say, yeah, sure, I have to go now. And so far, that has worked well. It makes absolutely no sense to counter-argue whenever they say something that is madly insane. What would the purpose be? Most probably the person that annoys you the most is not a struggling person at the main station, but maybe a family member or a work colleague. And it's hard to imagine them a struggling person at the main station because you know they're not. They have the mental capacity it takes not to talk bullshit and to have a decent conversation. And yes, even though they have the mental capacity, they choose not to. And the moment they do not make use of their mental capacity is the exact moment they choose to have their conversational value be the same as that of a junkie at the main station. And my reaction to that is going to be the exact same thing. Yeah, sure. I have to go now. I will listen politely, I will move on unaffected, maybe a bit amused, but if I'm being honest, I've had more intriguing conversations with struggling people at the main station than I've had with bullshit talkers. What to do if that bullshit talker is your parent or your child? It is so much more difficult to stay calm in that situation. Say it's your child. then you might probably feel as if you failed when raising your kid, and maybe you feel like a failure as a parent because it was your responsibility to educate that little shithead not to be a bullshit talker, and obviously that did not work out. The relationship that you have to that person is what makes the matter complicated. This is my child. The issue is, after your child has reached a certain undefined age, it's not your child anymore. It's an individual human being that makes its own decisions. Yes, it was your responsibility to raise that child, but that ends at a point, and from there on, it's not your responsibility anymore. The choices are theirs. The other way around, it might be troubling you that the person that grinds your nerves is your parent. This is my father, this is my mother, they should know better, they are embarrassing to me. They do their thing, I do my thing, and in that moment, the moment they're talking bullshit or behaving embarrassingly, whatever, they are not my responsibility anymore. So there's no point in me getting annoyed at all. Instead, I have other things I can do, which brings us to your choices. You can choose to do as I do and see them as the cow or struggling person crosses my way but is not my responsibility at all. You can detach yourself from that situation until that situation is over. The second thing you can do is limit interaction as much as possible. For example, say it's a friend's friend or an uncle that you absolutely detest. You can always choose not to go to any gathering where that person is present because your time is precious and valuable and you don't want to spend it being annoyed. The last thing you can do is stop them in their tracks. Say your work colleague is a bullshit talker. Every day that person comes by your desk and starts talking. Even before they talk, send them off. I don't have time to listen to you. I'm busy. You do that multiple times, they will not come to your desk anymore because a bullshit talker loves audience, which is also why they love if you contradict them, because that gives them even more of a platform to talk to you. So instead, tell them off directly and they will lose you as an audience. And in the end, I always find comfort in knowing that how I choose to react to a certain situation impacts how I feel emotionally for the rest of my day. And most of the time, I actually manage to have pretty nice days. So feel free to try out my cow and struggling person technique and let me know if that worked for you. Or if you totally disagree with me, that's also fine. Let me know that in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, then please subscribe to the channel. And until then, see y'all in the next video. Bye.